Because I was there. It didn't kick in. It didn't kick in. When the nurses came in and told you, can they talk to you about yourself? I'm like, no. Just go ahead and put it out there when I was wrong. Yeah, and they said you had chlamydia. Your lovely S6 didn't kick in. They said, what I do with C-section. Guess what? You refused. You didn't want to mess up your little tattoo. Or you didn't want to get cut, right? Don't worry. Where your mama instinct was at then? Because you sent through that infected canal, right? You did. You did that. So, don't do that. When I encourage you, I keep asking you, leave me alone. But you want to play with my children now, right? You play with my children. Talking about my grandbaby, like... And you know what's crazy? We will never talk about Chrisean because he's special and we really love him. But yo, you are foul. You are foul and disgusting.
Grab your popcorn, charge your phone, and prepare your soul. Because the internet just walked into a storyline so messy it makes the Kardashians look like quiet librarians. The streets are screaming, timelines are burning, and TikTok detectives are already sharpening their clues because Blueface's mom Karlissa, the woman who could turn a family dinner into a Zeus Network finale, just dropped a bomb so explosive that social media hasn't blinked since. According to her, little Junior didn't just stumble into life with random issues. No, she claims the child was affected by Chrisean's private choices. Choices so secret, so scandal-coded, that the minute her allegations leaked, Twitter turned into a courtroom, Instagram became a microscope, and YouTube turned into a digital autopsy room trying to dissect what private choices even means. And the crazy part, Karlissa didn't whisper it. She rolled that accusation out like a red carpet, daring the world to react. One sentence from her and suddenly everyone's debating parenting, medical mysteries, morality, DNA, lifestyle theories, and whether Chrisean's chaos finally crossed a line. If you think you're ready for what happened next, you're not. Because the screenshots, the live reactions, the family shade, and the conspiracy-level commentary that followed. Oh, it gets dark, twisted, hilarious, and absolutely viral. Buckle up. The moment Karlissa's accusation hit the air, you could practically hear the internet's spine crack from the whiplash. 1 minute people were scrolling peacefully, the next they were staring at Karlissa's claim like it was a leaked government file. Because this wasn't your average, she said. She rolled her eyes. She subtweeted, nope. This time, she tossed a grenade wrapped in mystery. She alleged, not confirmed, not proven, not medically stamped, that Junior might have been affected by what she called Chrisean's private choices. And she delivered it with that dramatic confidence only Karlissa can cook up. The tone that says, I've seen something y'all haven't, and I'm barely resisting the urge to go full documentary. The internet did what it always does when a vague bomb drops. It spiraled downward faster than a trending scandal on a slow news day. Comment sections turned into online laboratories, Reddit threads became conspiracy town halls, and gossip pages acted like courtroom stenographers trying to decode Karlissa's wording. What did she mean by private choices? Diet, parting, stress, lifestyle, a zodiac sign. People were throwing guesses like confetti, and every theory got louder than the last. Some insisted she was hinting at toxic relationships, others swore she meant health habits, and a few just clutched their pearls and screamed, Lord, what is she talking about? Here's the thing, Karlissa has always been a walking spark plug. A single sentence from her can create more smoke than a wildfire. She's got a history of emotional explosions, public debates, and allegations that sound like audition tapes for investigative TV. So when she pointed a rhetorical spotlight at Chrisean and suggested Junior deserved answers, nobody shrugged it off. The internet knows Karlissa doesn't speak softly, and vague accusation energy is her favorite sport. Screenshots started flying like digital bulletins. That clip where she leaned back, tightened her voice, and implied Junior's situation wasn't random. Yeah, that went everywhere. And no matter how many times people replayed it, the question hovered like a shadow. Was Karlissa spilling truth, stirring drama, or just venting extra spicy thoughts? She didn't give details, and that mystery made everyone hungrier. When information is missing, the imagination fills the gaps. And this time, the imagination went rogue on TikTok. Creators stitched the clip while speaking like forensic narrators. Okay, why? Let's break this down. Some speculated she was hinting at unhealthy pregnancy habits. Others thought she was implying stress, instability, or emotional chaos. But the most viral take, that Karlissa strategically used the foggiest, most open-ended language possible so her audience would build a scandal for her. She didn't say anything outright. She didn't name any act. She just dropped a suggestive sentence like a Netflix cliffhanger and let the public go detective mode. And in the middle of all that chaos, Junior himself became the accidental center of online theorizing. People started analyzing baby photos like they were professional pediatricians. Not okay, not scientific, and definitely not the internet's lane. But that's the nature of social media. One ambiguous claim and suddenly everyone becomes a diagnostic volunteer. Some defended Chrisean immediately. Stop diagnosing a baby from Instagram posts. Others defended Karlissa saying she's family. Maybe she knows something deeper. And a third group just watched with popcorn and GIFs. Because the scandal wasn't about truth anymore, it was about spectacle. Karlissa's history played a huge role in why her words hit so hard. She's been at the center of family storms, rumored fallouts, DNA debates, and emotional live streams where lines get blurred between concern and accusation. People remember past rants, past confrontations, past suspicion-filled moments. So when she hinted that Junior's story connected to Chrisean's lifestyle, the internet instantly set it next to all her previous claims like puzzle pieces. Whether any of it made sense didn't matter. Social media loves plot continuity. Meanwhile, Chrisean's defenders weren't quiet either. They fired back with their own theories. That Karlissa was bitter, that she weaponized motherhood as a PR move, or that she stirred chaos whenever Blueface drama started cooling down. Some wrote essays in the comments defending Chrisean as a young mother surviving insane public pressure. Others reminded everyone that babies are not marketing props, nor should they be used in adult allegations. And that debate ran all night, with people switching sides based on whichever screenshot floated across their screens next. As the controversy grew, the original question vanished under louder arguments. Suddenly, people were debating morality, parenting standards, responsibility, accountability, emotional stability, and public image. Like a scandal tornado, Karlissa's vague comment sucked in every loose opinion online. And critics pointed out something deeper. No matter what she meant, her wording blurred the line between speculation and suggestion, which is the most powerful recipe for internet wildfire. Because when something isn't stated directly, everyone believes their version is correct. Even psychologists, not real ones, just overly confident Twitter users jumped into the thread. People claimed Chrisean's public past automatically opened her up to allegations. Others argued that everyone has private choices, so weaponizing them turned motherhood into a moral battleground. Users quoted everything from celebrity interviews to medical blogs to zodiac charts trying to prove a point. Was Karlissa being protective, petty, honest, spiteful, strategic, emotional? Nobody knew, and that not knowing was the addiction. And the most intense reactions came from the Blueface fanbase, who never let a scandal go undissected. Some thought Karlissa was crying out because she felt shut out of Junior's life. Others said she might be projecting years of tension, frustration, and rivalry with Chrisean. A few theorized that Karlissa's comment was coded revenge after old arguments resurfaced. And then someone suggested she was hinting at something she wants the world to investigate deeper. That sentence alone launched a whole fleet of wannabe journalists crawling through old live streams, searching for clues like detectives who'd never passed training. Then there were the neutral spectators, my personal favorite, the ones who said, "It's a baby, y'all. Can we not?" They reminded the world that Junior isn't a storyline, a meme, or a pawn. He's a child whose name keeps entering a circus that adults created. But outrage culture doesn't slow down just because a situation is sensitive. The algorithm wants fuel. And Karlissa's claim was the gasoline. When the dust settled enough to see straight, the reality was simple. Nobody actually knew what Karlissa meant. People interpreted her words through their own biases. Her supporters saw a mom expressing concern. Her critics saw a woman aiming a rumor-shaped dart. Everyone else just saw a headline too spicy to ignore. And because she didn't elaborate, the conversation took on a life of its own, becoming bigger than the claim itself. The lesson was brutal. One vague suggestion can shift an entire narrative. Karlissa didn't need proof, details, follow-up statements, or a speech. She just needed 7 words. Junior was affected by private choices, and the world took it from there. Screenshots became evidence. Body language became symbolism. Makeup and wardrobe became psychology. Every tiny clip became another theory to feed the wildfire. And that's the dangerous magic of an allegation wrapped in mystery. It leaves people searching for answers that may not exist. While the topic stays red hot in every feed, whatever Karlissa meant, whatever truth sits beneath her tone, and whatever context lives behind her words, it's clear that once this ball rolled into social media, nobody could stop it. Not with clarifications, not with logic, not with common sense. Because scandals don't survive on facts, they survive on curiosity. And Karlissa just gave the internet the kind that tastes like smoke, shock, and suspense. Smoke, shock, and suspense. Just when the frenzy seemed ready to cool, social media did what it always does with an unfinished scandal. It escalated it into a circus with no ringmaster. Karlissa's vague wording morphed into thousands of different interpretations, and suddenly everyone online was acting like their theory came with a diploma. Meme pages threw gasoline on the flames instantly. One viral edit had Karlissa dressed as an FBI informant, holding a clipboard labeled Private Choices Investigation. Another had Chrisean in a courtroom sketch, while a fake judge demanded, "Explain the habits." And because the internet thrives on exaggeration, people treated every joke like a breadcrumb trail. Was Karlissa hinting at lifestyle, stress, immaturity, influence? Nobody knew, but everyone acted like they solved the case. Influencers jumped in narrating like investigative journalists, dissecting micro-movements from the clip as though they were decoding encrypted messages. Notice the pause before she said private. One said, "That's hesitation mixed with intention." Others claimed the tone in her voice was semi-accusatory but emotionally wounded, as if they'd taken classes in forensic linguistics. It was hilarious, ridiculous, and exactly what happens when you mix a controversial figure with an open-ended sentence and a public addicted to drama. Even the ones who didn't like Karlissa couldn't resist theorizing. The vagueness was too addictive. And in the TikTok era, mystery is jet fuel. Then the celebrity reactions started, because no scandal fully thrives without Hollywood sprinkling commentary on top. A rapper laughed on IG Live saying, "Whatever private choices means." That sentence alone broke the timeline. A reality star tweeted, "This is why you keep family business AWOY from the internet." A known YouTube commentator posted a breakdown calling Karlissa the queen of subliminal nuclear bombs. And celebrities who usually avoid drama still dropped cryptic eye emojis just to stir the pot. When famous people react with emojis, audiences take it as a coded confession, which instantly made everything worse. The memes got even wilder. Someone edited a fake documentary trailer titled The Private Choices Theory, complete with ominous music and grainy footage. Another mock headline read, "Internet becomes overnight child specialist after one sentence." People stitched clips of themselves staring out windows, narrating theories like philosophical monologues. Reaction pages turned the situation into a montage of exaggerated shock faces, reminding everyone that no storm spreads faster than a rumor shaped as a question. And while all this chaos unfolded, the Chrisean loyalists turned the comment sections into battlegrounds. They demanded everyone stop speculating about a child, begged people to stay grounded, and accused Karlissa of stirring trouble just because she's no stranger to heated online moments. Supporters quoted old interviews where Karlissa said explosive things, pointing out her history as proof that this latest claim might be just another emotional outburst rather than a factual concern. Defenders rode hard for Chrisean, arguing that motherhood is already stressful without the entire internet acting like medical detectives. But the other side countered with equal force. Some claimed Karlissa was speaking from instinct, family knowledge, or uncomfortable observations. They argued that her tone suggested worrying rather than malice. Screenshots flew back and forth of past arguments, past accusations, and past live streams where Karlissa questioned parenting styles. Each post tried to rewrite her sentence into their preferred story arc. It didn't matter if anyone was wrong, it only mattered who sounded more convincing. The Snowden-style theories arrived next. These were the TikTok citizens who acted like the clip was a classified briefing. They slowed the footage, examined the tension in Karlissa's jaw, analyzed her blinking rate, dissected her pauses, and even studied her posture. Some framed her statements as a red alert warning, insisting she was trying to remove gloss from a situation no one else would dare touch. Others suggested she weaponized mystery to push public opinion without actually making a concrete accusation, a strategic move only a media seasoned fighter could pull. And right in the center of that storm sat Junior, an innocent child transformed into a digital symbol. Users debated ethics, responsibility, and what lines content creators should never cross. One thread went viral because it simply said, "Whatever you believe, this topic isn't entertainment. Babies aren't plot twists." It hit millions of views because it was the only sane point in a sea of reactionary chaos. But even that comment became a battleground. Some said yes, stop theorizing entirely. Others insisted discussing Karlissa's claim didn't automatically make them hostile. The line between curiosity and insensitivity blurred fast. Meanwhile, the meme industry couldn't stop eating. Edits showed Karlissa with detective background music pointing at a corkboard full of red string and blurry screenshots. A comedic clip reenacted her sentence like a soap opera narration. Even content creators who normally stay away from gossip dipped their toe because the scandal was too irresistible. Anytime a celebrity mother hints at secretive behavior affecting a child, the internet imagines a vault of unseen receipts. And people love imagined receipt vaults almost as much as actual ones. Some fans accused the entire ecosystem of turning into a rumor-making machine with zero evidence. Others argued that Karlissa's history makes people slower to dismiss anything she says, even if she leaves it half-said. And then came the psychological breakdowns, the threads claiming she sounded like a frustrated matriarch watching her family implode publicly. A few claimed she looked more tired than angry, suggesting her comment came from emotional exhaustion rather than spite. Suddenly, the scandal wasn't just about Junior, it was about Karlissa's mindset, her role in the messy saga, and whether she was trying to be protective or chaotic. Of course, YouTube analysts dove in headfirst. Some turned her sentence into 40-minute expose essays. Others accused gossip channels of exploiting the situation to farm views. A panel-style podcast even debated intentions versus impact, their consensus. The moment you speak vaguely about a child, the internet will build a mountain out of a syllable. And then, the most unexpected twist, silence. Chrisean didn't issue a public clapback. She didn't drop cryptic lyrics. She didn't go live. And that silence became a scandal of its own. People treated it as proof she didn't care, others saw it as maturity. And conspiracy pages framed it as quiet confidence. When no rebuttal comes, people project. And projection is fuel. Across all platforms, the phrase private choices became an inside joke, a meme, a debate point, a code phrase, and a trending hashtag. It mutated into something detached from Junior and tied instead to how people view motherhood under a spotlight. Was Karlissa exposing? Was she exaggerating? Was she frustrated? Hurt, vengeful, worried, strategic? The answer changed hourly depending on whose voice took over the narrative. But the wildest revelation in all this, nobody actually knew anything more than they did on day one. Karlissa didn't elaborate. No confirmations emerged. No clarifications cleared the fog. There was no follow-up statement. Just a sentence that echoed so loudly the entire internet tried to translate it like prophecy. And that's the DNA of a viral scandal. It thrives on vagueness, suffocates clarity, and feeds on speculation dressed as truth. By the time the wave reached its peak, The situation felt less like real life and more like a reality TV finale narrated by strangers with Wi-Fi and too much free time. Screenshots, reactions, unverified insider comments, and stitched video essays worked together like a fever dream. A mother's uncertain sentence became social media's favorite investigation, a reflection of how fast innocence gets swallowed when drama looks marketable. And with every meme, edit, breakdown, parody, or reaction clip, the scandal thickened. No facts, no evidence, just vibes, theories, and millions of opinions, all swirling around a claim wrapped so tightly in suggestion that people forgot it might not reveal anything at all. As the storm settled into that awkward stage where no new information existed, but nobody dared let the conversation die. The world got its first glimpse of the long-term fallout, and it was intense, uncomfortable, weirdly symbolic, and almost poetic in that internet wild way scandals always are. Because once Karlissa let those 7 words roll across the digital universe, everything shifted. Not permanently, not dramatically, but subtly in tone, in perception, in the way people started looking at every player in the storyline. The biggest consequence wasn't outrage or memes. It was the way people began tiptoeing around Junior's name like it was fragile glass. Even the boldest gossip pages hesitated before they typed anything about him again. Commenters started to side-eye each other for going too deep into speculation. That single moment forced the internet, a place that treats everything like free-for-all content, to recognize there are lines it shouldn't casually cross. And yet, the scandal lingered because the accusation hovered unanswered in the atmosphere like static electricity, waiting for someone to ground it. Karlissa's own reputation twisted into something strange. She'd always been the internet's unfiltered mouthpiece, but now people looked at her like a human puzzle. Was she sounding an alarm because she genuinely worried for Junior? Or did she simply slip into her usual dramatic rhythm, tossing emotional fragments into a camera lens and letting the public shape the rest? People assessed her tone, her posture, even her silence afterward. And silence, ironically, was the loudest part. No follow-up rant, no doubling down, no apology, just stillness. The lack of clarity became her microphone, and the audience listened anyway. For many, the aftermath transformed her into an accidental symbol of something bigger. Some saw her as a mother gutted by conflict, desperate to say something without knowing how to say everything. Others painted her as a provocateur addicted to vague explosions that demand attention. And a small but vocal group decided she was neither hero nor villain, just a woman caught between messy emotions and messy fame, learning how to navigate the worst arena possible. The internet's judgment panel. That complexity made the scandal heavier. It wasn't black and white anymore. It was gray, layered, and uncomfortable. The kind of storyline that doesn't end clean. Chrisean's image got reshaped too, but not in the ways people expected. The silence that surrounded her became a force field. Commentators who used to drag her every week suddenly stepped back. They re-evaluated her in a new light because she didn't jump into war, didn't clap back for sport, didn't name-drop pain. If anything, the scandal made her look more private, more guarded, someone who understood that sometimes the smartest response is no response. And that threw everyone off balance. When you deny the internet a fight, it loses half its appetite. Meanwhile, Blueface was stuck at the center like a man who walked into a press conference and realized nobody cared what he had to say. He became the default focal point people used to measure emotional distance. Some said he looked caught between two worlds, a mother hinting at something heavy and a partner fighting to protect peace. Others argued he'd seen so much chaos in public that the accusation barely scratched him anymore. Either way, the scandal changed how fans viewed his role in the drama. He didn't look like the aggressor, the victim, or the instigator. He just looked exhausted. And that exhaustion turned into a narrative of its own. The biggest ripple hit the public's sense of boundary. When comments grew too invasive, a counterwave of empathy rose. People pointed out that Junior wasn't a storyline, a clue, or a cliffhanger. He wasn't a character. He was a child at the center of adults fighting their emotional wars through live streams and rumor threads. The more viewers replayed the scandal, the more the tone softened. A collective consciousness began wondering whether the internet had crossed the wires between entertainment and humanity. But that didn't mean the drama died. It simply evolved. Instead of dissecting Junior, users started dissecting the culture that birthed this scandal. They debated how social media turns motherhood into spectacle. They argued about the ethics of commentating on children, the pressure of celebrity lineage, and the messy reality of parenting under cameras. It wasn't gossip anymore. It was sociology disguised as chaos. Some platforms even tried cleaning up after the mess. Pages that posted wild theories earlier began archiving clips, removing captions, or rewording their original takes. And though no one publicly apologized, that scrambling spoke louder than words. Because when people start backpedaling, it means the scandal struck a nerve deeper than expected. And through it all, Karlissa moved like someone who knew no matter what she said next, the internet would judge her anyway. So she said nothing. And nothing felt heavier than any accusation. Viewers waited for her to clarify, retract, expand, or deflect, but silence became her strategy. Silence became the sequel. And when influencers demanded answers, that silence stretched so wide it became its own plot twist. Months from now, the scandal will still be referenced in passing. Not because people knew the truth, but because they lived through the speculation. And the speculation itself became entertainment. It became the cautionary tale. How easy it is to build narratives out of fog and reactions out of shadows. How quickly the internet forgets it's talking about real humans, not scripted characters. How dangerous a vague sentence becomes when millions are listening. The reputation aftermath was as unpredictable as the scandal. For some, Karlissa was reckless. For others, she was brave. For many, she became proof that the digital era blurs lines we shouldn't blur. But the biggest impact. Everyone carried a tiny piece of awareness forward. That maybe strangers shouldn't diagnose a child through comments. That maybe ambiguity doesn't deserve megaphones. And that not every emotional suspicion needs to be broadcast to followers who confuse shock value with truth. Still, the curiosity never fully died. People wondered if Karlissa meant something specific. They wondered if she regretted it. They wondered if Chrisean's silence was tactical. And they wondered if Blueface was suffocating under the pressure of two women tied to him through blood and history. Those dangling threads kept the scandal alive like embers ready to reignite with one careless tweet. No confirmation, no denial, no full story. Just fragments and the internet's addiction to stitching those fragments into fiction. And maybe that's the sharpest irony of all. For a saga built on wild claims, exaggerated narratives, and raw speculation, the only truth anyone could agree on by the end was this: sometimes the loudest scandals are the ones with the least facts. And sometimes the public turns whispers into storms that real people have to live through long after timelines move on to new explosions. In the end, when the dust settled and the theories drowned under fresher headlines, the scandal carved one lasting message into the digital wall. Accusations are powerful. Consequences are unpredictable. And children should never be turned into battlegrounds for adult frustration. Junior's name didn't deserve the weight of rumor, but that weight traveled anyway. Carried by millions of fingertips and strangers who didn't know him at all. And though the story eventually faded, audiences walked away remembering that moment not as proof of anything, but as a warning. Because once you speak a sentence into a microphone, you don't get to control where it lands, how it mutates, or who it wounds. And behind every viral uproar, there's a real child, real emotions, and real consequences long after the feed scrolls on. And if you made it all the way here through the theories, the screenshots, the memes, the think pieces, the silence, the chaos, the wild decoding attempts, and the scandal built on 7 blurry words, then welcome to the only corner of the internet that treats viral drama like premium entertainment. Because let's be honest, the world didn't just watch this unfold. It dissected it like a lost chapter in celebrity folklore. And trust me, This won't be the last messy storyline that leaves everyone gasping and scrolling at 3 a.m. So don't even think about dipping before showing love. Smash that like button like it insulted your entire bloodline. Drop your sharpest take in the comments and tell me exactly what you think Karlissa really meant. And if you've got conspiracy-level theories, spill them, because this channel survives on smoke, suspicion, and popcorn. Make sure you subscribe. Slam that notification bell like you're trying to wake Zeus network security, and stay locked in. Because scandals don't sleep, drama doesn't retire, and leaked accusations don't ever truly die. They just reappear with fresh angles, hotter screenshots, and new I heard whispers. And right here is where they get turned into full-scale breakdowns sharper than that TikTok detective lens. So keep your receipts ready, your timelines refreshed, and your curiosity dripping. Another meltdown is always one live stream away, and when it hits, you already know we'll be front row, narrating the madness, exaggerating the suspense, roasting the chaos, and shining spotlights on every "did she just say that" moment the culture drops. Celeb ruckus, where scandals live louder. Where scandals live louder.